This exercise is titled Mass Processing Tabular Data, Evaluating Employee Self-Reflection and Performance, Preparing the Manager for Quarterly Interview. So this describes the exercise in brief. We know that AI is granting us many opportunities, and today we are exploring mass processing with tabular data. This is a powerful approach to evaluate employee self-reflection and performance using large language models. And we will be breaking down how automated queries to a LLM via API, meaning application programming interface, can help managers prepare for quarterly performance interviews, all through smart automation in Google Colab. So we are diving into how AI can streamline employee evaluation through automated queries to an LLM via an API. This process starts with extracting data from a CSV file, where part A of the exercise involves analyzing open text self-reflections to identify employee concerns, and part B of exercise focuses on structured data, including text and numeric values, to assess performance of the worker. So we are using Python. We automate the process by sending queries for each employee's data in column B, receiving AI-generated insights and storing them in column C. This automation helps managers quickly to identify challenges, track the progress of the worker, and prepare for quarterly performance reviews or one-on-one interviews. So this is meant to transform HR decision-making with AI-driven insights. The key learning outcomes of this exercise are as follows: automating LLM queries. This is where we learn how to process multiple requests programmatically. Secondly, processing CSV data with NLP analysis. This is where we understand how AI interprets open text feedback. Thirdly, generating structured insights from text. This is to transform raw responses into actionable takeaways. Fourthly, integrating OpenAI API with Google Colab. This gives us hands-on experience in AI-driven HR analytics. And fifthly, enhancing managerial HR decision-making. This is where we use AI to support leadership with informed decisions and also employee development. So AI isn't here to replace human managers. This is an exercise which exemplifies that AI is helpful to enhance decision-making. By automating data processing and analysis, managers can focus on what truly matters. This is mentoring employees, fostering growth, and leading more effective performance reviews. So let's look at the use case of this exercise. The challenge in this exercise is transforming employee data into insights. So employee evaluations often involve two key components. The first one is self-reflection. This is the A part of the exercise. Self-reflection is where employees provide open-ended responses about their progress, challenges, and goals. And secondly, performance metrics. This is the B part of the exercise, where structured data like KPIs, work hours, project outcomes, peer reviews are stored and presented in a structured way. So traditionally, managers shift through this data manually, a time-consuming process, and this process is prone to bias. But what we learn in this exercise is how could we automate this process by using AI. So the solution is to automate this process by LLM queries with API calls. And our exercise focuses on programmatically querying an LLM to process employee self-reflections and structured performance data. And here is how it works. So we have use cases from employee well-being to strategic HR decisions, where processing employee self-reflection, meaning this is part B, part A. So we are to identify recurring challenges and frustrations in employees face. We want to highlight areas for growth and training needs, and we want to flag potential engagement or burnout risks for HR intervention. And in part B, we are evaluating employee performance. This is where we convert structured data into insightful performance summaries. So we could compare past and present performance to detect trends, but in this exercise we are only looking at one period, 1 quarter from a year. And this generates key discussion points for quarterly performance interview between the employee and the supervisor. So the solution, what it is based on, is AI technology that we use to automate these employee quarterly evaluations. We are working with natural language processing, NLP, and large language models, LLMs. And we use these to analyze both open text self-reflections and also to analyze structured performance data, which consists of both open text values and numeric values. The entire process runs on Google Colab using Python code to interact with the OpenAI API. Specifically, we are tapping into powerful models like GPT-4o Mini and GPT-4o to generate these insights. And why we are using 2 models is to see by ourselves which one works better, and if GPT-4o Mini, which is much less expensive model, could be utilized for the task. So this combination of AI and automation could make HR smarter, faster, and more insightful. So always when we are doing automation, we should think of what is the input and output and what is the transformation in between. We are breaking down here in this slide how the AI processes employee data using structured automation. The input consists of 2 parts. This is the exercise parts. Part A is, as mentioned, a single open text response from an employee, and part B is a combination of multiple open text entries and numeric values from different fields in a CSV file. And we also use a predefined instructions, meaning a prompt to the LLM that then analyzes these inputs and generates structured insights. The output is a refined AI-generated text response that gets written into a new column in the CSV file, which is the valuable content about the employee performance that we want the manager to have. So this is a streamlined response that transforms raw data into actionable intelligence for HR or managerial decision making. So let's break down the architecture of the system. And we have here architecture components. The process starts with a CSV file containing open text responses from employees. This is input. Each employee is represented in a separate row in this CSV file. We then use Google Colab to automate queries to the OpenAI API, which the OpenAI LLM will process the text using their LLM, for example, GPT-4o. The LLM analyzes the responses from the employees, identifies key insights, and generates structured feedback. So finally, the processed output is written into a new CSV file, adding the insights that we are after. So first, the step-by-step work would go as follows. First, the system reads the CSV file and extracts the text from the second column. Secondly, the extracted data is sent as a query to the OpenAI API. Thirdly, the LLM analyzes the response, extracts key issues and performance insights. And fourthly, the AI-generated insights are stored into a third column in a new CSV file. So this workflow ensures that managers receive automated summaries to support their quarterly interview process. So to recap, we have a CSV file. This is an input file which contains employee self-reflections and performance data. We have Google Colab that reads CSV file, extracts text from it and numeric values from it, and sends this as a query to the LLM. Google Colab also receives the response from LLM. We have OpenAI API, which processes the data and sends it forward to the LLM. And the LLM analyzes the text, extracts insights, and returns a response. And lastly, we have CSV file, which is the output file, which contains the response from the LLM for each of the row, meaning for each employee. So let's take a look at the input file. So we have a CSV file called employee self-analysis, and in input we have two columns. We have employee ID, which is a arbitrary number, and the second column is self-analysis. So this is a text written by the employee about the last quarter. So in this example file, I'm teaching both the English group and the Estonian group. I have half of these are in Estonian and half in English. So, but an example self-analysis would read as follows. Quarter 3 was a challenging yet rewarding period. Managing multiple large-scale projects required careful attention to detail and constant communication with both my team and clients. One of the key challenges was balancing project deadlines while keeping the budget in check. There were instances where resource allocation needed adjustment to stay on track. In the coming quarter, I plan to work on improving my time management skills to ensure smoother project execution and increase my efficiency in reporting progress. So this was employee 111. So let's look at the output after Google Colab Notepad has processed that input file, we are left with output file, which is the copy of this input file, CSV file, but with added third column, which includes the response from the LLM. So we see the same structure. Now we have opened this CSV file in Excel. So we have the employee 111 with the self-reflection in column B, and now the response in column C. And the issues to address, which is the header of this column for employee 111, is as follows. First, resource allocation issues. Second, difficulty balancing schedule and budget. Third, need to develop time management skills. Fourth, increasing efficiency in reporting. So that's a very concise way of listing the main items, main issues that the worker had touched upon on self-review. And I think we can agree, having read the employee self-reflection, that the 4 items that the LLM has pointed out are indeed correct. So in this Excel sheet, we may notice that all the issues to address are not in English, but in Estonian. So when the self-analysis is in Estonian, the output is also in Estonian. And also the English self-analysis text has an output in Estonian. That is because I have configured Google Colab Notebook to output in Estonian, meaning in case we have a manager who is Estonian and the interaction is in Estonian, we have also this comfortably the insight for the manager for the interview, one-on-one interview in the language that we are speaking of. So this is the Google Colab Notebook that transformed the input file into output file. So we have basically 1 or 2 code blocks to run here. So as we may recall, to run Google Colab Notebook, first we need to save it to our own Google Drive. From the upper menu, file, save into my drive. And then once we have activated the first code block, we can browse and upload the first input file. Once I have successfully indicated the input file in my computer, the first code block shows checked icon, meaning this code was executed successfully. And this is where we will come and execute the second code block. And after the execution of the second code block, the notebook will output the final CSV file, the output CSV file. So looking at the code, it's a pretty straightforward and simple code, which automates the employee self-evaluation row by row, meaning it sends queries. It takes the first employee's self-reflection text, adds the prompt, meaning the instructions, what to do with this text. The instructions are as follows. Read this employee self-analysis, make a numbered list of issues that I, as a manager, need to address, make the list concise, output in Estonian. And then after about maybe 10 seconds, it receives the response and writes it into the memory. And after all the rows in the CSV file have been processed, the new CSV file is generated that we just reviewed. We can also adjust maximum tokens, output, and temperature. Here I have left the temperature relatively low because this does not require too much of creativeness in writing the concise summary of the employee's self-reflection. So this is the A part of the exercise. Let's wrap up with that and continue to B part. So this is the input file for part B. So here we have structured data. Unlike part A where we only had column B, here we have column B, C, D, and so on. So we have many columns. Some are open text data and some are numeric data. So let's take the first row. This is employee 101 named Marika Kask, who is a sales specialist, and the department is sales. The worker performance that this file represents characterizes a third quarter of 2024. And we have input data, numeric input data. 92% of the sales target was achieved. From 1 to 10, Marika scored 8 at average customer satisfaction. Punctuality was 3, meaning Marika was late from work only 3 days, for the entire period of 3 months. And then there are some subjective peer review scores: 7 for team collaboration, 8 for problem solving skills, 9 for communication skills, 7 for technical skills. So these all maybe are not subjective data, but some might be based on some actual objective empirical data. So 6 for technical skills and 8 for leadership potential as evaluated by the immediate supervisor. And then we have some open text, which are the comments by the supervisor about Marika's overall rating, overall KPI summary, soft skills, and work duties. So we are using Notepad to look into the CSV file. It's much better if we open this file in Excel. So this would be what we will see for the same file when open in Excel. So we see each employee. In this exercise we have about 20 employees. Each one is in separate row, and then we have columns representing the name, role, department, year, quarter, sales target achieved, customer satisfaction, punctuality, days late, team collaboration, problem solving skills, communications skills, technical skills, leadership potential, and overall rating. So we have open text here, input by the immediate supervisor perhaps. So for soft skills it says Marika demonstrates strong communication skills and builds rapport with customers. She is a collaborative team member and can effectively resolve customer service issues. And about work duties, it says maintaining customer relationships, recommending products, resolving customer complaints, processing transactions, maintaining sales records, organizing product displays, restocking shelves, and attending team meetings. So why have we included the list of work duties into the input file? Because when we open a Google Colab notebook, which is meant for the part B of this exercise, and we read the system prompt, the system prompt will give us the will give the LLM the task, and it says, analyze the work performance of this worker based on the last quarter performance data. Take into account the worker's work duties and assess how well the performance is in line with work duties. Compose a numbered list of topics that the supervisor would address in a quarterly one-on-one meeting with the worker. Comment with 1 or 2 sentences each item. Divide the topics list into positive and negative items. So this is the prompt. And when we go back to the CSV file, so this is actually already an output file that I have produced for this input dataset. So we have in the output file column S, which says performance analysis. So this is what was created by the Python code, and here we can see the result for Marika's performance. So as requested, we are having first positive items followed by negative items. So in the positive items, we see that there are 5 items to discuss. This is the AI's recommendation for the supervisor or the department head, whoever is doing the interview. First, sales target achievement. Marika has consistently achieved her sales target, reaching 98 this quarter. This demonstrates her strong performance in meeting the expectations of her role as a sales specialist. Secondly, customer satisfaction. With the customer satisfaction score of 8, Marika has exceeded expectations in maintaining positive relationships with clients. This is crucial for her work duties, which involve client relationship management. And let's jump to negative items. Let's see where the LLM thought of shortcomings. So it first points out some of the days being late of work. Then leadership potential. It says, rated at 6, her leadership potential may need development as she progresses in her career. Enhancing her leadership skills could help her to take on more responsibilities and mentor others. So this is, I think, the most highlighted item for improvement. Technical skills, scoring a 7 in technical skills suggests there is room for improvement. Strengthening her technical abilities could enhance her efficiency in processing transactions and managing product displays. So we have a couple of items from the negative side pointed out here. The rest of the comments are about overall rating and KPI summary. More positive items than negative items. So overall, this seems to be a positive interview that comes up for Marika. We can see that for each of the workers listed in this input file and now in output file, we see output from the LLM. Each has their own unique analysis based on the scores for different aspects of their performance. And this was done automatically. So some of the values are missing from sales targets achieved because not all of the workers are salespeople. Also, the same applies to the customer satisfaction parameter. Here we can see that, for example, employee 102 has customer satisfaction score but no sales target achieved score. So that implies that this person might work in the customer service and is not involved in sales. as we can also read from the profession of this person. So this is the exercise part B, and have a happy time in completing different parts of this exercise.